All right, welcome back for another Thursday night game. I think this is battle report number 6. I'm Jeff Bodine, and this is my friend Juan. Okay, Juan, say hi.
Hey.
All right, and tonight we have a game of 40K, obviously, and we're going to be playing Linchpin and Crucible of Battle. And I am playing Imperial Fist tonight, and my friend is playing deathguard with demons. So it's that mixed attachment. He has won the role and chose to be defender, so he's going to deploy first. And once we're done with deployment, we'll take a look at the armies. All right. Okay, deployment is complete. Well, we'll go over the armies real quick. I'll start with mine. Right here, I have a very crusty old Imperial Fist Vindicator. Then I have 10 homemade Stern Guard, also crusty. Then I have 10 regular Terminators joined by a Lysander. Then I have a ATV with the multi-melta. 6 Blade Guard joined by a Captain and an Ancient. And the Ancient has the banner that gives them -1 to be wounded for high strength stuff. This is Emperor's Shield, so it's the detachment that likes Lysander. 3 bikes. Then my combat lieutenant, who is very far forward, but away from everything, weirdly enough. And then in reserves, I have my 5 Vanguard vets with storm shields, and then 10 assault terminators with thunderhammers, led by a chaplain with a storm shield. All right, that's my army. Now, here's my opponent's. We'll start over here up front. He's got a 6-man unit of Nurglings that are forward deployed. Then 10 Poxwalkers. There's one of my teleport homers. The other one is over here. Then over here, he's got 10 more Poxwalkers, kind of screening out and keeping me from being able to get any closer with scouts or anything like that. Then we have 2 of the bloat drones with the heavy launchers. This is a Defiler that has battle cannon, flamethrower, and then the autocannon. And we are using the new Defiler rules, so we'll see how this goes. It says the Death Guard army, so these things will strip cover. Then he's got a Rhino with a couple of characters in there. Literally, that's it, not any Plague Marines or anything. Then he's got Rodigus, 10 Plague Bearers, another Defiler. This one has, is it the Ectoplasm Cannon? Yeah. The Ectoplasm Cannon and Las Cannons. Then another one of those annoying bloat drones. And then the Tallyman back there. And in reserves, he has a Lord of Virulence who will paint targets for blast guys like these. So that's obviously a good choice. Then he's got a regular Great Unclean one. And then another 10-man unit of Plague Bearers. So now we're going to roll to see who goes first. And I think we both have a lot of scout moves, so this one might be pretty interesting. So, all right, I'll do another video at the end of the first player's turn. Thanks. Okay, we have reached the end of Juan's first turn. He drew Extend Battle Lines, which you have to hold. It is your 1 in your deployment zone, and then 1 or more in no man's land for 4 points. And then Mark for Death, which is terrible, which I picked 3 of my units, and he has to try and kill them. And he gets to pick 1 of mine, and if he kills it, he gets 2. And if you get the Mark for Death target, or 1 of the 3, you get 5. I picked my tank, the Blade Guard, and that scooter there, which is basically untouchable. And he picked my Combi Lieutenant, who he actually almost got. He really went after him. And apparently those wizards in there are extremely OP. So I'm very scared of them. He got Extend Battle Lines by holding his
Don't listen to him, he's lying.
That's also true. And then he got that one, and he's also got this one. He's towed in on the backside there. So he's got kind of pretty good board control. He moved up his Nurglings and just walked right up in front of me. So now I'm kind of blocked into my deployment zone, and he aggressively indexed up. And he tried to get me. He got me with a freaking boxcars to charge me with this stupid Rhino. It's not the end of the world, but it is pretty crazy. So he's very aggressive. So this will be a very interesting game. All right, so I'm going to take my turn. Now, just to be clear, he scored 4 points. So there we go there. I obviously haven't scored any yet because I haven't had a turn. But we'll see how it goes, and I'll do another video at the end of my turn. Thanks. Okay, this is the end of my first turn. And the secondaries I drew were No Prisoners and Tempting Target. Tempting Target is normally a terrible secondary. This time he picked the middle objective, which, as you can see, I was able to get. Now, he had his Nurglings out here, and my Terminators kind of moved up as close as they could and then through the wall here just a little bit in order to get as close to this objective as I could. I could only really get 2 guys through, and I had to put 2 behind, but I chewed them up really bad with shooting and then assaulted what was left. The Rhino, I moved my tank over, and I had to pay 2 to pivot, which kept me from getting a little bit further out, which ended up being unfortunate, but oh well. The Stern Guard moved up with just a normal move because I wanted to try to charge whatever popped out, but the Stern Guard took down the Rhino with mortals. And then these guys were able to just make it into this building here and out of line of sight. So the Vindicator kind of got stranded, which, oh well, he was designed to come over here and make sure this Rhino died. And then I did fail the charge to try and run over there. I needed an 11, so the odds were pretty low. I moved my bikes up onto this objective and then charged around the corner into these guys and killed 6 out of 10, which is not bad. And then I ran my blade guard from back here up to there. I got a 10, and I'm still like a move or 2 away from being in the action, but that's a nice little follow-up. That is not an easy unit to just push around. My Terminators have moved into the middle here, and next turn we'll start dealing with all these reserves. He did pay a CP to resurrect his Nurglings and put them into reserve, so they're coming back. At the end of the turn, it is 9 to 5, or 9 to 4, and we're going to be doing primaries, so we'll see how that goes. All right. Okay, we're at the bottom of Juan's second turn, and for this turn he drew Secure No Man's Land, which you have to control 1 or 2 objectives in No Man's Land for 2 or 4. Then Engage in All Fronts, where you have to have a unit in each quarter of the board and not within 6 of the center. So he has a neat little gimmick where he can bring in his reserves and then deep strike them within 6, or is it wholly within 9 of the guy, or 12 or whatever?
Yeah, it's wholly within 12.
Wholly within 12 of this guy, but then they only need to be 6 inches away from enemies. So he's able to just drop in and just charge everything. So I rapid ingressed my assault Terminators in behind here, planning to heroically intervene into this dude when he charged me. But then he was like, haha, I'm actually going to deep strike my whole army behind you, even though you thought you were clear. Well, you're not. So he dropped in that other freaking Great Unclean one and this brick of OC here to grab my home objective. He did a lot of shooting damage into my Terminators, but not a whole lot of melee damage. I actually kind of finally started saving my rolls. So yeah, he scarily dropped in. He just kind of hid out back here. He pounded the crap out of these dudes in the middle, and I did what I could to stave it off. And his -1 to wound on the unit was helpful. The bikes over here sawed up what was left of the Poxwalkers, and he ran up onto this objective to try to get No Man's Land. But I killed the Poxwalkers, and he rolled a low roll, so he really had to kind of, I think he probably should have fell back and forgot. But that's okay. So I was able to pile in and maintain control of this objective, even though this dude reduces OC by 1. These guys get bonus OC in this detachment, so that actually saved me. So he actually only ended up with 1 in No Man's Land to get 2. And Engage in All Fronts, as you can see, he's covered all over the freaking board. So I'm going to have to shoot some holes in him in order to make room for my own stuff. So he's got all 4 of those. So for the end of the turn, he's got 10 to my 9. So I'm going to take the bottom of my second turn, and we'll show what happened. Thanks. All right, this is the end of my turn 2. I drew Cleanse, which is doing a mission on a No Man's Land objective that you control at the end of the turn, and Overwhelming Force, which is killing an enemy unit that started the turn on an objective. So I had a major problem that I had to deal with. So my home objective was covered up with dudes, so I lose the 3 for it, and my No Man's Land objectives go from 5 to 3. So I only had 2 in the middle here, so I only got 6 points on that. And he had his whole army on me, and I have no fallback and assault strat, so I'm stuck in combat with these guys, or I just forfeit attacking at all. So basically they all, at least one of them got to go first before me. But I was able to cleanse over there and just ignored them. My blade guard moved over here and jumped in on this guy. Like I said, they stayed and they kind of consolidated them. Here, my bike or my scooter fell back and stayed on the objective, and my tank moved into position here to be able to see either target, either there or there.
You said something. He swung, right?
No. We'll do his combat in a second. We forgot to do his combat, so after this we'll do that. But it won't. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't change anything. I fell back here, and then I shot the crap out of him, and basically almost every single shot that went in killed a dude. So I gutted most of the unit and charged in to get enough OC on this objective to take it back, which is good. I dropped my guys back here, but I failed to charge because he pulled all of his dudes away. And even then, I still would have failed because I got an 8. These guys were over here, and they moved out to here, shot him, but I blew the rolls horribly. I rolled like absolute crap and did absolutely nothing, or very little damage. And then I charged these poxwalkers and needed a command point re-roll to make the charge because I blew the charge roll too. But they beat the crap out of the poxwalkers and killed them all. I didn't even need all my attacks. The blade guard charged in and, as expected, did nothing. They suck bad. If it's not salamanders and agaton, they're basically garbage. I don't know that I'm going to hold on to them. But anyway, they came in. I did all of my tricks and didn't do anything really. The Terminators hit much harder and almost killed him. These guys almost killed him. He had 13 wounds or something like that going in this combat, and I almost killed him. He got pretty lucky in both cases to survive. I did 10 damage with like 6 wounds left, and he survived. So it was shocking because he only has a fill up 8 of a 6. So it was a really great roll to save himself in both cases. I almost had him. But that's okay. They're critically damaged. So we'll see how this one goes. But at the end of the turn, I ended up getting 1 overwhelming force and only cleanse on 1 objective. So that's a 5, which puts me at a 14 to his 10. So it's his turn now, and we'll see how it ends up. Thanks. Okay, we're at the bottom of turn 3 for 1, and this turn he drew Cleanse and Area Denial. And, I haven't fought back or any of that stuff. I'll finish this video, though. But he got Cleanse and Area Denial. Now, for Cleanse, he moved on to this objective with all of his dudes, and then shot the crap out of the bikes with the insanely good Defilers. Newsflash, everybody, they're crazy good. They're going up in points. So you might as well brace for impact there. These things are spicy. They're totally worth it, but they are spicy and they are going up. But he casually destroyed 2 of them, and I managed to just pull my casualties in a way to steal him chances to get the other one. And he failed to charge with the Nurglings. They probably wouldn't have killed the guy, but I am free to do things, which is nice. But he did cleanse there, and then he started to cleanse over here after he chewed up this unit. But he charged me with one of his characters that had popped out the side here, and didn't do anything. He just blew the dice rolls, and I just barely killed the guy on my counterattack. But the important thing is that it allowed me to pile in my other guys onto the objective and just get enough manpower to take it back and blow his cleanse, which was a real bummer for him. And Area Denial, he needed to clear me out of here and just missed being able to do it. This last Terminator has 2 wounds, and Lysander is still full health. But yes, so I did survive, and these dudes, they're powerful, but they still have a big footprint, and the way the Great Unclean One was in this area kind of kept this dude from being able to base very easily, so he had to go through everybody and needed a huge roll in order to make it and didn't get it. And the same thing with this guy. This guy needed a 12 to clear everything, and this guy needed a 10. And he got close. He rolled a 10 for this guy and like something else for this. I don't know what he rolled, but he almost got it. Oh, he rolled a 3 or something. But so it was actually very close. The Terminator guy came back here and charged here, and I made all my saves, which is very lucky. I forgot to fight back there, and I forgot to fight back over here. So I actually have a bunch more combats to do, but that's okay. We both, he did another wound to my tank, and I did nothing to him, which is hilarious. This guy clapped into the Terminators, and the Terminator said, "Not today, Satan." and they did not. I took 2 wounds on that guy. He's got 1 left. So this Terminator unit is just hard as nails today. So I'm going to do my clapbacks, and then I'm going to do my turn, and we'll do another video and see how it looks. At the end of the round, he got 2 points for cleanse, so that puts him at 12 to 14. So here's a chance for me to kind of get ahead, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks. Okay, I have finished my bottom of 3, and I drew Storm Hostile, which I have to take an objective that my opponent controlled at the beginning of the turn, and Assassination, which is to kill a character. So he had his sorcerer, his second sorcerer here, and his Terminator Lord over here. I moved around from the outside edge over to this side to get more shots on him, and he overwatched me and killed 2 of the guys because that damn sorcerer is so powerful. But I did shoot him and just managed to kill him with mortals from my sorcerer, my own librarian. Then this guy, the jump pack dudes fell back over to here, and my multi-mota bike shot him and killed the Terminator Lord. Then I moved my Terminators and my Blade Guard up. I killed the Great Unclean One, who only had 3 wounds left, so it was pretty much a foregone conclusion. But I moved my Blade Guard up to go after the Plague Bearers that were on that objective, and then my Terminators here to move up to then assault this guy. And this was a clever move on my part. I moved these 2 guys right to here to just kind of choke off the placement point here to prevent this guy from being able to effectively heroic intervene into me. Just because he can't make contact with this unit because it's not the one that charged. So by moving up, I just kind of blocked him from being able to countercharge in. And the same thing over here, I stayed away from the Nurglings, and I had a big charge there, which was actually kind of perilous, but I did a good job. I was able to get some guys in on the middle there, and I stayed out of 6 of them to keep them from dragging into the combat and bogging everything down. It would have prevented me from killing that unit for sure. But I put the guy down to 1 wound again. I failed to kill him by 1. So that's unfortunate for me. But he fought back and didn't do a whole lot of damage. So I think I'll be able to get him. And these dudes killed all the Plague Bearers. So I have freed up that objective. So right now I'm holding them all. But it's his turn. So at the end of the turn, I got 5 points for Assassinate and 4 for Storm, which puts me up to 23 to his 12. So let's see how he does on his next turn. Okay, we are just done with Juan's 4th turn, and he drew Tempting Target and Storm Hostile. Tempting Target, you have to take control of one of the No Man's Land objectives that your opponent chooses, in which case I chose that far one over there. And then Storm Hostile, he has to take an objective that previously belonged to his opponent at the beginning of the turn. He annihilated the poor Stern Guard survivors that were on this objective and totally annihilated them casually with this freaking thing. It has a 12-shot machine gun that is strength 6, AP 1-2 damage, and he just totally mowed them all down and killed them all easy. And so got that there. Then he charged in. I used Lysander's 2+ Invul to survive the shooting phase just barely. I rolled a ton of 1s and had to re-roll 1 in order to live and not get killed by this thing. So it saved me because I rolled a bunch of 2s, but it almost failed me anyway because I rolled a bunch of 1s as well. But he then charged me and tank shocked me, and I don't have access to any feel no pain anywhere. So it basically instantly killed him, which is sad. But and then he was able to carry straight on into the unit, and I spent the CP to fight on death, but he didn't kill anybody, so that was wasted. And I went and popped the the severely damaged Defiler and killed it. And his Nurglings charged in and tried to at least tie these guys down. But I killed them all on my counterattack. He did manage to kill one, which was humiliating, but also helpful because one of my strats that gives me +1 to wound pops when I'm injured. So losing a guy actually makes him wound easier. So He was able to achieve Storm Hostile, but did not get Tempting Target. That one was always going to be kind of hard. But he got 4 points for the turn, puts him up to 16 on his secondaries, 23 for me. So I'm going to do the bottom of my 4th, and we'll see where we're at. Okay, I have now wrapped up my bottom of 4. I drew Sabotage, which requires me to do an action in no man's land, or, well, not in no man's land. It's in a piece of terrain that's not in my deployment zone. And if I do it in no man's land, it's 3 points, and if I do it in my opponent's deployment zone, it's 6 points. But it doesn't complete until the next turn, so it's very difficult to pull off. Then behind enemy lines, you have to get 2 units into your enemy's deployment zone, and 1 is worth 3 and 2 is worth 4. I was able to run my bike from this objective all the way up and got into his deployment zone. He overwatched into it with that drone that was there, but failed to get any hits. Then my blade guard, I used a strat for first company guys to make that objective over there sticky, so I maintained control of it. And then I walked up here and charged through the wall and got the drone and destroyed it, and then consolidated onto that objective to really seal it. Then here, my Terminators fell back from his Defiler, and I oathed him, and I moved my Vindicator up, and then my jump pack guys moved up just right here, right next to the tank. The tank shot in, and I almost killed it. I left it with 3 wounds, and then the Vanguard vets jumped in and finished him off with a bunch of lethal hits. And so I got pretty strong control of the board. I was able to complete behind enemy lines for 4 points. And it's about time to go, and we're gonna do a tally. So we went on ahead and said I completed the base level of Sabotage, just because where I'm doing it from, which is right up here in the corner, there's no way for these guys to get to me. So he's gonna survive. So that puts us at 30 for me and 16 for one. So we're gonna total up, and then I'll do a little after action report. Thanks. Okay, so here we go. We wrapped up the game, and the final was after as usual, we do the paint bonus for both of us. It was 72 to me to 45 for Juan. This is actually a much closer game, in my opinion, than the score implies. Really, when he came down here with the drop in the back here, I was very concerned. I almost lost the game right there. If I hadn't been able to so effectively counterattack, especially right here with the cannon, I would have been doomed. He would have killed me. I would have lost probably 10 or 20 points worth of primary that is not recoverable. And honestly, my Hammernators just saved so many saves. They're the survivors. The other guys got stomped out, and they had the -1 to wound. Yeah. And so the Hammernators just tanked that dude and just took all of his abuse and just was like, no way. They lost 2 guys over the course of 3 rounds of combat. That is nuts. And he attacked him with everything every time. Yeah. So they really did great and just hung on like a hair in a biscuit. And the Blade Guard, once they got into a target that is more their size, they did good. It was just, they just totally wilted against the big dude where they're needing 6s. It just didn't work at all. Even with the huge volume, I gave every guy +2 attacks between the banner and the captain, and the extra item that the captain has to give me extra attacks. I had 36 attacks on the regular guys and just didn't do anything. It just was not enough. They are terrible against high toughness targets, but against the regular dudes, they did one-shot an entire 10 man of Plague Bearers, so that's good. His drones continued to be a horrifying threat. I hate them. Yeah. Yes, everything in his army, like an Armor of Contempt, just does not work against this guy at all. It does, because he can modify. He did the one where he also modifies your save by 1. So Armor of Contempt is just totally pointless. It does not work against him. So, and that was part of the attractive reason for why I chose this attachment, was to get access to that. They really hurt with not having a fall back in charge or something, or a run in charge. They're good on defense, and when they go into offense, they're wanting to hit and wound on 2s. And they can re-roll a lot of stuff, but they want to go in and totally annihilate the target in 1 hit. They do not want to be in protracted combats, and that's where I was all game. So in a lot of ways, I got to kind of stress test this. But yeah, so that's the results. Thanks for watching, guys.